That's why I wanted to buy the spinner. Lushootseed. Hot slacheo. Good afternoon. We are going to jump right into things, and I think we've kind of been exposed to it, but we haven't really been able to really dive in to talk about the different goings, if we want to say that we're going somewhere. So what we're going to do is I'm going to pass out 2 handouts. The first one is what we're going to go over. The second one is going to be some places. Hey.
I finally downloaded the keyboard.
Hey, diet hard.
I finally felt comfortable enough to be able to, like, in my own self, to be able to, you know, do the keyboarding thing.
Oh, it takes it takes practice, but then it's so cool the moment that you realize, like, oh my gosh, I just typed out that whole whatever, like that whole sentence or that whole word or whatever, without having to sit there and like match the keyboard up. But I'm excited that you'll do that. So is on your phone?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, I sent it to.
That's exciting.
I sent it to the girls. Well, I sent good morning to my girls, like, when I did it.
Uh-huh. And actually, I should encourage those who are tuning in that may or may not have heard, and I don't think I sent anything out in our email, did I? Silly me. So for those who are tuning in, we have the app that is live in the Google Play Store and the Apple Store. So make sure that you try to look for those and get yourselves the Lushootseed app, Tulalip Lushootseed. You can search for it. The keyword is making sure that you look for the Tulalip Lushootseed app. I'm super excited. I really hope that so many people at General Council like really did take out their phones and download it. I know I said that, but whether or not people will be like, yay, let's do this. It's a lot of people want the instant gratification of being able to learn or being able to say things. So hopefully that'll be what helps pull them in so that they can see themselves as being a speaker. Everybody should see themselves as being speakers, like whether it's choosing to do your hot staratu, hot shurubitsi, like these little phrases, or the phrases that we have that people see out on the roads or in the calendar. Like, this is the start. This is absolutely the start. And I know I'm preaching to the choir because you guys are now moving into 103, so you guys have already shown your dedication to wanting to learn the language. So I'm really hopeful that the app will start to pull more people in and build everybody's confidence. The one thing that I did notice, though, is we don't have the blessing on the app. And that was gonna be my next thing to tell the community, like, hey, next gathering, if you practice this in your app, then we all could just say this blessing together. Like, that's the goal. The goal is, like, as we build, it used to be one person. It used to be one of us that would get up there and pray. And then we're like, no, Michelle Miles was like, you know what, let's have everybody get up there. So then every request that we would get, all of us are standing there together. And then when we start to pull students from the community, and then you guys come up and are, it's like building that. And eventually, I think we will be able to have a time where we're at a gathering and we just say, and everybody knows, all right, we got to get into this. And that's my goal. My goal is to make sure that everybody feels comfortable and confident and feels safe to participate. Because if we don't feel safe, then we're We're not going to
true.
use it. So
Very true.
making sure that we're creating that safe space and having that at your fingertips at your own time where you feel like you can do that. I think that's like such a triumph for our department. And if I would have had more floor time, I would have just like really went into that. But then I was like, okay, don't take up too much time. Just make people download it. Okay, so what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about the difference between oh and ah. Hold on, this thing is driving me nuts. Let's see if I can do this. I did it. Oh no. I broke a pen.
Oh.
It might be permanently off. Achada. Okay. Oh. 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 This means go. This just means go. Oh. Oh means go. Yep.
Is there a oak then? Just kidding.
Huh?
I said, how can you say oak? Go then.
Hoi oh. Ah. Ah. Ah.
Am I doing that one? Is it?
Ah.
Uh,
Ah.
uh,
Ah also means go, but this one has an added piece to it. Go to a specific destination. When we look in the dictionary or we think about terms that were used al tudi tu hak by our first speakers, ataud. Ataud. What did the D's used to be? What sound? M or N?
N, I would say. On that one.
So it would have been a town. A town. What specific place do you think that means? Town. Yep. Ataud. Ataud. Go to town. Today, we wouldn't look at town as being a specific destination. But al tudi tu hak, a long time ago, that was a very specific destination. There were only a few things that you could do in town. So going to town was being very specific. If we wanted to say, I'm going to town, and using oh, this just means go. Oh, like Joya said, hoi, oh. You could probably say like, using that means now. Hoi ocha. Well, go then. Well, go then now. If you're going to use which is kind of like a general go term, if you're not really set on where you want to go. Like, I'm going to go to town, but I don't quite know what I'm going to do. I just need to get out of the house. I'm just going to go to town. I may or may not stop by the store. I might go to the bank. I might go to the casino. Whatever it is, if you don't really have like something set in mind, then this is where you would use och. For this, you're going to need to use twal. Och, twal. Do you guys remember twal? We have two pieces. On, at, in. And this is the duh, like in duh lelap. Direction. To or towards. Towards, at. So this is your going to. Go to. And then you would have to name whatever the destination is. So if we're going to say that I'm just going to town, I don't know what I'm going to do. I just need to get out of the house. I need to get away from here. Och, twal ti taud is how this one would work. If we want to be specific, because this could be he went to town, she went to town, they went to town. What are we going to do if it's I? Where's the chud going to go? I feel like we're on, like, The Price is Right. Tell me when to stop. But no.
Maybe.
Second word?
Second, yep. Och, chud, twal, ti taud. I went to town. This one is unique because there were some words that they combined together, but more common what you'll hear us say today achad taud. Achad taud. You don't need a T, you don't need a twal. Go to is all within this one word. Achad taud. Achad taud. Achad taud. So this is our specific destination. So just answering in English, which one would you use if you wanted to say, I'm going to the beach? Which one would you use? Och or ah? I'm going to the beach.
Because it's a specific.
Which beach? Oh.
I'm just gonna stay with my answer. It's too late.
You could use och if you're just not quite sure which one you're going to go to. I'm going to Mission Beach. That's when you're going to use the I'm going to Spibada. I'm going to the store. Och. I'm going to Albertsons. I'm going to the bank. I'm going to Wells Fargo. I'm going to the casino. Trick question. I'm going to the big house. I'm going to Seattle.
It's a city.
I don't know.
I'm guessing.
I'm going to the Space Needle.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to Seattle.
I'm saying, oh.
Oh, yeah. Now, I do want to say it is not going to be wrong if you say chud Seattle. chud hibulb. Those are specific locations. Those are specific cities. And I would never say that somebody is wrong if they were to use one or the other. We just want to show you the difference in how you can be very specific, how you would hear that said, so that when we listen to traditional stories or we hear any of the audio, as soon as we hear that chud taud, which is probably the most common one that we would have heard, that was, I'm going to town. Town was the only town that you could go to, so that was very specific. So we want you to be able to hear and understand the difference. When you hear oh, that's kind of like a general, I'm going to, I'm going here, I'm going there. Whereas is, I was very specifically having this place in mind, and that's why I use this term. Seattle is a specific city. If you branch yourself out and looking in the Pacific Northwest or in the world, like it's a very specific place to go. But you could also be a little more specific if you're saying where you're going in Seattle. Sometimes if I if I go to Seattle, it's because I just want to get out of the house and I want to go have fun and I want to go explore. Or chud troll. I went to the troll in Seattle. Like that was a specific plan of action that I had for that day, was to go to specific destinations. I'm going to Gasworks Park, then I'm going to go see the troll, then I'm going to go to Pike Place. These are all chud places. But sometimes we just want to go explore. So that this is like our exploration, going out to do something. This is my agenda. My agenda is to go take care of this stuff. So that's the difference between these two different types of going to. Now, we're not going to look at that translate. I want us to move on to this list, just so we can start looking at the way these places, how we translate these locations. Do you guys like highlighters? I have some highlighters here if it kind of helps you out.
I know many people who don't like highlighters.
I love highlighters.
So long on Saturday looking for highlighters.
These all came from my desk. This is when we were working on a project. Okay, I want you to look at this list of words, and what do you notice that they have in common?
I'll have a lot of X raised W.
X raised W at the end.
Yeah.
What were you saying, Joya?
The all.
All?
Yeah, the AL.
Mm-hmm.
In all of them.
Mm-hmm.
They have some of them begin with do.
Duh. Yep. Some of them are beginning with duh.
They'll have almost all of them have the
T. Yeah, there's some of those with the T. A couple of the things you guys discovered. Joya said the all. Mihaela said the X raised W. Do you see this combination? So, piecing that part together. This is a suffix that means building or house. Alt. 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 Alt is going to be connected to words where this is the building where this type of verb happens or this type of noun happens. So alt is a building. We also have other location suffixes that I don't think any of them are on here. Ollie means room, and we can go over that after we feel confident with these words. So we have alt, which means building, and then Mihaela noticed this on some of the words. Da. 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 This prefix place where means by which, reason why. It has a couple of meanings. We're not going to focus on those one. These words are talking about a place where that noun or that verb takes place. And then Odessa noticed that there was the uti. And remember when we were talking about possessives, that's like our apostrophe S. Looking at the first one. Chash alt. Chash alt. Chash alt. Chasalt. Chasalt. If we were looking at our feelings, oh, us chashchad. Us chashchad. I'm sick. That's the verb for this building. So a hospital is a sick building. It's a building where people who are sick, that's where they go in order to get well, in order to get help. And of course, we had to get creative when we thought, okay, what's the difference between a clinic and a hospital? And that's where it's determined, like, that's where the really sick people go. Whereas a clinic could be, considered like, I think our clinic is called the Halil Alt, which means a place you go where you're trying to get better. So that's where we have the difference of a hospital where, okay, things got too bad now, I'm sick, and I need to get well here, versus a clinic where you could just pop in there and you can hopefully get your remedy to help you feel better.
Do you go to a clinic for like broken bones? Or
Yeah.
do you go to a hospital?
It depends. It depends on what resources they have.
Depends on the clinic.
Yeah.
How bad it is, I guess.
My son, when he got hurt here at the club, he was running backwards because they were playing a game, and he slipped and he braced himself with his one arm, and he broke his forearm. So he completely broke that bone. And they did have to take him to the hospital to reset it because they didn't have the equipment here or all of the supplies. So it's kind of like, but they do have for some things. Break your finger, they'd have a little bracing that they can help you out with. But his was so severe that he had to go to the hospital. Okay, next one. Da ashab alt. Ashab alt. Da ashab alt. Ashab means to observe. Ashab. Ashab. Things that you can observe. You can observe games. So if you go to like a stadium and you're going to watch like the Seahawks play or the Mariners, you can go observe a game. You can go to the field and you can observe games down there. So you can observe games. You can observe like theater, like Broadway plays. You could
Observe the people there.
observe the people. You can observe. So this, the ashlab, this is the one that we used for the movie theater. So it's a building, the place where you observe. Place where you observe. Because, you know, when you're sitting back at the movie, you're just sitting back and observing things. You're watching the movie. The next one, Tulalip. 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 That means to read. Tulalip, if you're going to read something. Daf tulalip means by which you read. You read from a book. So we use daf tulalip for a book. A bookstore or a library. Daf tulalip alt. Daf tulalip alt. Daf tulalip alt. Hey. The next one, Kupi. Kupi. What did you say, Joy?
I said Kupiol.
Kupiol. Kupialt? I thought you said Kupiali.
No.
Are you guys familiar with the name of the coffee stand up at Admin?
I was
T. Kupiali. T. Kupiali. Which means the coffee area. Because Ollie means area. That could be the names of rooms inside a building, the names of rooms inside a house, the name of stations inside the admin building would use Ollie. So Kupiali is what we named the coffee stand because it's not a separate building outside of the admin, it's within the admin. But we know that the Pacific Northwest is well known for their Kupialt, for all of their coffee stands. So Kupialt. Here's another pop quiz. I'm going to the coffee stand. Which one would you use? Oh or ah? I'm going to Locals. I'm going to Priest Point Espresso. I'm going to Off-Road. So if you're going to be specific, that's where you're like, no, I am going to this one. Not just, oh, I'm going to go to the coffee stand. Whichever one doesn't have a line, that's what I'm going to.
I guess you could still get specific with Locals, so which stands.
Yep.
Because there's like one over like Lakewood, and then there's one over.
Yeah. And we learned that we like the Marysville location.
Preferred.
Because they know our drinks better. Sometimes we learn the hard way.
They're like, which one is that again? Is that?
Would
I've
have
never
given-
made that one before.
Would have given a mystery drink. Like, I don't think they knew what they put.
I
in
don't
there.
think so either.
Like,
When
what's
it
a
got
sun
here, we were
kiss?
like, what is this? We asked for a matcha.
And it
A
came out
berry
all
matcha.
white. It was like all white with a white foam.
Yeah, it was not right. It was not right. Little history on that. They used to be the same company, but now they're separate. So now they have separate menus,
Separate stamp cards too.
separate stamp
They
cards.
were like, we can't accept these. I was like, oh.
Ooh, I thought Locals was Locals.
Yeah, it was
That's
weird.
horrible.
Okay, next one. Suplul.
Suplal.
Suplul.
Suplal.
Suplul.
Suplal.
That means bread. Suplul. God, that sounds so good right now. Suplul alt.
Suplal alt.
Supplealt.
Supplealt.
What places would you consider are a supplealt? Let's name some specific ones.
Fran, or is it called Fran's Bakery?
Fran's Bakery, a
They used to have the Dutch bakery.
Dutch Bakery. I was going to say 3rd Street, Dutch, or what? Oosterwix. I think that's the name of the 3rd Street Bakery,
Oh.
or the Dutch Bakery.
Oh.
Yep. You could consider Crumble
Crumble.
a bakery. Where else?
Despy Delight.
Despy Delight. Ugh.
They have rare little sections.
Yum.
Bagels.
Would you settle for like the Safeway bakery?
You could, if you wanted to be specific, yeah. We would switch that to Ollie.
Ollie.
Who'd you say?
Hagen.
Hagen. Yep. We would switch those to Saplul Ollie. So a bread area. I was wondering if anybody was going to say Hudley's. Henry's.
Oh, I forgot about that place.
Hudley's. All right. We already went over Town. Town. Next one. The hotel. Ulb. So you need to come here. Ulb. Feel right here. Keep trying until you get there. Now try from the front.
Okay.
Notice the difference? You don't feel it right there. Ulb alt. Ulb alt. You're getting closer. Ulb alt.
How about?
Ulb means to camp out,
How about?
to stay somewhere overnight. Ulb alt. One of the words that we considered for that was like, when you think about when you go to a hotel, like some people consider, oh, that's where you go to rest. But when we're not live streaming anymore, I'll share with you guys why we didn't choose that one. All right. So what are some of the hotels that we would talk about for the Ulbalt, if we're being specific?
The resort.
Yep, the big house, the resort, Tulalip Resort. Has anybody stayed at Angel of the Winds at their hotel? Wait. I love bowling there. They also have we could get creative and we can consider that they have the RV park there as well. I haven't seen that, but I've heard people say that it's really nice. So
So I sit at the Cape.
where else? The Village.
Yeah.
The Village.
Yeah.
Who do you remember good old
Tulalip.
the Tulalip Inn? Hey, the Tulalip Inn. Yep.
Yes.
So those are, just a handful, thinking of connecting those. So you would say Tulalip Ulbalt, the Tulalip Hotel, or Tulalip Resort Casino Hotel. Or that could have been if we talk about the Tulalip Inn and remembering staying there. That seemed like it was so cool.
It was when we were kids.
Man. Do you guys remember that? Did it get tore down?
Yeah, I remember the Arby's.
Yeah.
And back when, where the center is at, it was all just gravel before the pavement was there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think I just vaguely remember before, I don't know. I feel like I was there, like in that era where that bridge had just been built from 88th.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. That was I was in high school
Yeah.
when they finally opened that up. And that was like a big deal.
I remember it was a dirt road.
Yeah.
George Cruz was through there.
Damn it, George. Chooch. Yeah, the Tulalip Inn was a pretty big deal. It was a pretty big deal.
You go have your birthday parties there.
I
You
never
have
did.
sleepovers.
We weren't rich enough for that. But my cousin Carissa was. And we always looked forward to her birthday because her birthday's December 12th. So then when they would have the Christmas tree and everything, man, that was just like, we felt bougie.
Swimming pool.
Yes.
I
Man.
haven't thought about that place for a long time.
Right?
Yeah.
Good old memories.
hmm
Okay. For this one, for the hair salon, we're not going to look at the duff or the alt. Right in the middle, we have Lushootseed.
Sleet. Sleet.
Lushootseed.
Sleet.
Lushootseed.
Sleet.
It's hard transitioning from the up front to the Lushootseed.
Oh.
Sleet.
So this is Lushootseed. Lushootseed.
Sleet.
Having to do with your hair. Yep. The Lushootseed alt is the place where you get your hair cut. It's the building of the place where you get your hair cut. The Lushootseed alt. Jeez. Got a neighborhood message. Somebody's missing dog. Okay. Now this one is interesting. So we're not going to focus on that duff. Ilgui.
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 The part has to do with eating. The gui has to do with your car. So if you're going to the gas station, what are you doing?
You're feeding your car.
Feeding your car. Duff ilgui. Duff ilgui. Duff ilgui.
Ilgui.
Eh. Duff ilgui.
Ilgui.
Eh. Next one, the museum. Aisle. Aisle. That means to store things. So that could be used as a storage facility. But that's what we use for museum because it's a building where we're storing these very sacred things. Aisle out. Aisle out. Oh, look at Fran's Bakery's on there. Jail. Cake olive. Cake olive. Cake olive alt. Cake olive alt. Hopefully we don't have to talk about that one, so it doesn't matter if we don't master the word. No. So the jail is, they call a police officer a dofs alek. So alek alt is a jail. We move into talking about specifics. Like if we were talking about a bakery, if we wanted to say Fran's Bakery, like Odessa was mentioning, we would say Saplolalt T Franz. Saplolalt T Franz. So Despy would be what?
Saplolalt T Despy.
Yeah. Yep. What would crumble be?
Saplolalt T Crumble.
Hey, I looked at their menu today. I have willpower. I have willpower.
Last week
What is it this
garbage.
I was like surprised when I like looked at it, and it was all like, it was a Kardashians one, where it's all
Yeah.
like Chloe's.
Yep.
Like,
Chris's
own
pick.
recipe, and I was like, I took a screenshot and I like sent it into my group chat. I was like, what the fuck is this? What is this?
I heard people roasting the gluten-free
The flourless
chocolate.
one.
Yeah, yeah. People did not seem happy with that one. Let's stop there because it's 12:51. Uhoya Chush, Brian.